Hello everyone and welcome to session 5, the final session of the XiaoHongShu Marketing Bootcamp. So this is session number 5 of 5. It's the very last session of our bootcamp, and today we're going to be learning about the XiaoHongShu algorithm and how you can master the algorithm to get greater post reach and better post engagement and ultimately more paying students, which is the ultimate goal of our business. So if you're just tuning in live right now, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Please let me know that all the tech is working and you can see and hear me, everything okay, it's all good. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to skip ahead about 4 minutes or so just to get to the main bootcamp content. But yeah, if you're tuning in already, please let me know in the chat that you're here. Introduce yourself, tell me where you're tuning in from and what you're excited to learn today. So yeah, I'm just going to very quickly double check all our emails and stuff have been coming through fine. And we've got a few minutes for everyone to get that email and then jump on the stream and join us live. Okay. Looks like the emails have gone through, so that's all good. Fantastic. I do love it when the tech is cooperating. Okay, I'm seeing a few people tuning in now. It's fantastic. Great to see you again, Melody. Melody from Wisconsin joining us again. Really excited to see you. Looking forward to learning the magic formula of XiaoHongShu. Yes, today is where the magic happens. We actually understand what's going on behind the scenes in terms of the algorithm and how you can reach more people. Okay, Bella tuning in, all looking good. I'm glad to hear the technology is all working. Thank you, Bella. That's fantastic. And we've got Tiana, I think I pronounced that hopefully all right. Tiana from Cape Town. Great to see you. Awesome. Seeing a few familiar faces and a couple of new faces, which is always nice to see. If you're new here, by the way, please make sure you check out the link in the description to register for the full bootcamp. That means you'll get access to the replays of the earlier sessions. It's free. It's a free bootcamp. The replays are free. Everything's free. The link is in the description if you want to get access to all of that. So if you're new and or you're watching the replay at some point in the future and want to watch the rest of the bootcamp, please check out the link in the description to get that. Okay, a few more people joining us, that's fantastic. Do feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know you're tuning in and everything is good. And we've got a couple of minutes till we actually get started. So while I'm just here rambling, feel free to grab a quick cup of tea, get settled, sit down, get comfortable, because there's lots of content to learn today. Also, just a reminder that if you've got the workbook, which is available for free as part of the bootcamp, if you register at the link, if you've got your workbook, make sure you've got that ready because there's lots of things you'll want to jot down as we go along throughout today's session. So yeah, I think that's all the main things I want to mention at the beginning. Just checking the chat, any more people joining us, a few more people tuning in. Feel free to introduce yourself if you're tuning in. I can see the number of people watching, but if you comment, I can actually see who you are. So please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from and what you're excited to learn about today. 1 minute or so until we get started with the main bootcamp content. Just like yesterday, I started a little bit early again today just to get things rolling so we can try and keep on track with the times because I know I'm useless at time management and tend to overrun massively. Okay, we've got Susan joining us again. Great to see you again, Susan. Thanks for tuning in. Laura saying, currently doing remote assessing for Cambridge exams, going to try and catch bits and pieces in between candidates and during break times. Well, thank you for joining us, Laura. I hope you enjoyed today's session and good luck with that marking. That sounds like a lot of work. If you missed stuff, don't worry, you can catch it up on the replay later. But if you do want to tune in and comment every now and then, feel free to take advantage of the live time we've got here. Awesome. Angie tuning in from New York. Fantastic, great to see you again. And another familiar face, Saida. Hello, welcome back to the bootcamp for our final session. Great to see you guys. So anyone who's just tuning in, because it's just coming up now to the start time, today's topic is the XiaoHongShu algorithm. So we're going to learn how to master the algorithm to boost post reach for our target audience, reach more of the right people who are then going to convert into more paying customers, which is our ultimate goal, more paying students. Okay, so feel free to introduce yourself in the comments, last 10 seconds or so until we actually jump into the main content. Hi there, Nassis, great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Awesome. Got a quick question here from Twain. Why can't I go to account security and do real name verification? Sounds like a technical issue, maybe. Actually, the real name Oh, no, that's not right. I verified with my passport. You can verify with your passport. It's a bit of a pain. You don't need to do the real name verification, though. You just need to link your phone number to be able to use XiaoHongShu. So don't worry about real name verification. It doesn't unlock any extra features. It's just a waste of time. So don't need to do that. Don't worry. At least for now. Maybe at some point in the future it becomes required. But right now, don't worry about it. Hi there, Christine. Great to see you. Fantastic. Okay, so our time is up. So that was our quick intro. Thank you everyone for joining us. Let's get started with today's topic on mastering the XiaoHongShu algorithm to boost reach with our target audience and get more paying students. So I'm going to keep the chat open and try and keep on top of things, but I'll probably answer some questions as we go along. There's lots to get through today. So moving swiftly on. For anyone who's new, my name is Katie. Most people know me as the director of Abridge Academy, and you've probably seen me in various Facebook groups and on YouTube. So I've been an online teacher since 2013. I'm also a qualified classroom teacher, and I've lived, studied, and taught in China before. I also have a micro MBA from Shanghai Jiao Tong University, and I co-founded a Chinese online ESL startup tutoring program back in 2020. So those experiences give me quite a big insight into the Chinese market, how to advertise in China, how to work with Chinese students, what exactly Chinese students and parents are looking for, all of that wonderful stuff. And right now, I'm currently a classroom ESL teacher in Japan. I also teach online, I sell curriculum, I sell courses, do wonderful boot camps and webinars for online teachers like you guys, and all of that. So yeah, like to keep myself busy. Okay. So if you're just tuning in, just a reminder, this is session 5 of our free XiaoHongShu marketing bootcamp. This is the final session. If you've just randomly come across this video and you haven't watched the previous ones, don't worry, you can watch the replays. The link is in the description below to get access to the replays. It's free. But yes, this is session number 5, where we're going to bring everything together and learn how to master the algorithm to reach more paying students. I just mentioned this, but yes, please make sure you register. The link is in the description. You get all the replays. There's no more email reminders. This is the last session, but you get the replays. You'll get the free workbook to put everything into practice, free social media platforms guide, free certificate of completion at the end, and the opportunity to win some awesome bonuses like free coaching and courses. So yeah, link is in the description to register for that. Okay, moving swiftly on then to today's topic. As I say, lots to power through today. Today, we're going to learn about mastering the XiaoHongShu algorithm. So mastering the XiaoHongShu algorithm. And I'm going to give you a quick question to start off with. What do you think makes a good post from a platform's perspective? So imagine you are the owner of XiaoHongShu or any other social media platform you're familiar with. There's quite a lot of common themes here. What do you think a platform cares about in terms of the content you are posting? How do they know it's a good post? And while you're thinking about that, pop it in the comments. I'm just going to quickly check if there's any other questions that have come up in the meantime. Bella's asking, trying to register WeChat and says I need to contact someone to verify. Okay, I've got a video on this on my channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel after today's live, there's a video that says like WeChat verification. And there's lots of tips how to get verified. So please do check that out. Hi there, Florida Teaching Safari. Thank you for joining us. Please do let me know your name, by the way, because I think if you're using a business branded account, it's always nice to know the person behind the account. Got Harry tuning in. Hi there, Harry. Thanks for joining us. And we've got here Clubfoot Mama. Again, please do feel free to let me know your actual name so I know how to refer to you. For the first time, I'm able to join the lives. Yay! Finally not drowning in work. Still need to catch up on the rest of the replays. No worries. That's why we have the replays available. Hope you enjoy this session. Okay then, so our big question. What do you think makes a good post from a platform's perspective? How do they know that your content is awesome so they can recommend it to more people? Okay, well, idea here, people are reading it and interacting. Yes, the fact that they're interacting with it is particularly key. If they scroll right past it, then it obviously was a bit rubbish. If they interact, then they liked it. That's definitely a key metric they're going to look at. Harry's saying it attracts users. And actually, that's an interesting point, because if it's bringing in more people to the platform, it's attracting more people to spend more time looking at your post, engaging with it, then that is really good for the platform's point of view. The platform itself is inherently selfish, right? They want to make money. The way they make money is through advertising. The way they can get more money from advertising is by more people spending more time on their platform. So anything that's bringing in new users or causing them to engage more or spend longer on the platform is stuff that the platform loves. Yeah, Yeah, Melody's got the right point there. A post that keeps people on the app, watching ads, scrolling, and hopefully spending money. Exactly. Platform is selfish. They want the money from the advertisers. They want money from people buying stuff through the apps, things like that. That's where they make money. So you want to help them make more money, and at the same time, they'll then give your post a boost that helps you make money too. So it's a win-win. Okay, Kristen saying attractive, relatable content. Absolutely. Oh, thank you everyone for your names. Yeah, Florida Teaching Safari is Nicole. I'll try and remember these. I'll probably forget some of them because we've got too many people tuning in today. Club Mama is Samantha. Thank you. Thank you for introducing yourselves. Great to see you guys. Okay, so you're just saying posts that bring in high engagement. Absolutely. Likes, shares, comments, follows, all of that kind of engagement are key metrics they look at to check that your post is good. Bella's saying the same thing. People interacting. Absolutely. Great. So we've got some really great ideas there. I've just made similar kind of comments here as the main things they're looking at, but we basically got the right concepts. So engagement shows that people actually like your content, so they're clicking like, they're commenting. Shares brings in new people into the platform. And then watch time, how much time they spend looking at your post, watching the video, if it's a video, or just scrolling through, like looking at the post. Keeping people on the platform for more time is really good for their ad revenue. So that's what they really care about. And it shows that your post was useful because people looked at it, so they're reading it, so they liked it. Okay, so bearing that in mind, let's now think about how XiaoHongShu determines these things and how to then use that information to recommend your post to more people. So this is a picture. It's not super clear, but this is a picture that you get if you look at the stats for your post. You need to have a minimum, I think, of 50 followers to be able to view post stats. But once you've got access to post stats, you can see graphs like this for your posts. You just click on the post itself, and then you click on, I think it's called data or something. And you can see basically various different metrics. You can look at likes, you can look at views, comments, shares, all this stuff on nice pretty graphs. And most of them will have something similar along these lines if it's a good post. And essentially what we can see here, I'll move my face just down so we can see things a bit more clear on the live stream here. Sorry, I'm shrinking. Maybe a little bit smaller in the corner so we can read everything. Okay, so what we can see in this graph here. So firstly, the first few days. Let's move me over here so I can point. Look at this. I'm flying. Awesome. So these first few days here at the very beginning, so literally the first 24 hours in which you've posted, they are going to basically test your post. This is when they measure how good your post is. They're going to mostly test it on existing followers or maybe some people with similar interests, try it out a little bit and see how well people engage. So this is the testing phase, the first 24 hours. Remember that. That's really important because those first 24 hours then become critical to the future success of your post. If you move a bit more to the right here, over here, this side of the graph, we can see what happens usually around 5 or so days later. So after it's measured how good your post was initially, then it thinks about it a bit, and then it's going to recommend it to a wider audience. These are then people who are not currently following you. This is the algorithm doing its magic to help you reach more people. And this is what we want. We want a nice big peak later on in the week, immediately after we posted. So if your post is popular, it's going to spread your post to more people. And the key thing to remember here is going to share your post to more people who are similar to those who engage with your content on the first day. So for example, maybe you are targeting young professionals. You're offering like business English classes or interview coaching or something for young professionals who are aged, say, I don't know, 25 to 30. That could be your age, target age. So if in that first 24 hours at the beginning when you first posted, you've got lots of great engagement, that's likes and comments and follows or something from people who fit in that category. So age 25 to 30, they're interested in, I don't know, the tech industry, and they speak Chinese. So it picks up on sort of common demographic features of the initial audience that engaged well. Then in the later on in the week, when it gives you another boost, it's going to share it to more people with similar demographics who engaged well in the first 24 hours. So if you do this well, you're going to reach more people who are aged 25 to 30, interested in the tech industry and speak Chinese, if that was your target market, which is great. That's what we want to see. So remember that it's really good engagement with your target audience in the first 24 hours is key to success later on in the week when it gives you free recommendation to new people. Okay, I hope that kind of makes sense. There's a bit in your workbook, by the way, to jot down some notes on this, because I think it's one of the most important diagrams in this whole webinar. It's, yeah, really useful, I think, to see. By the way, if your post isn't that popular in the first 24 hours, you just won't get this second peak. It will just sort of flatline and plateau off, and that's it. Goodbye post. It's not going to get any more organic reach. So you want to really do well in those first 24 hours for it to be successful. So actually, has anyone done this? Has anyone looked at their post stats and seen this kind of thing? And how does it look for you? Let me know in the comments if you've actually looked at the post stats, because it is really useful to look at. You can also then see which of your posts are more popular, what kind of content does well, and what kind of things you can use that to tweak what kind of things you do in future posts to help them continue to do well. Yeah, most people are relatively new to XiaoHongShu, in which case you might not have all these stats yet, which is fine. I'm going to just pop up a very quick, very important message here on the screen. And I'm going to read this out to you probably several times to drill it in, because this is so, so important. Do not do those kind of like for like or follow for follow kind of things with other teachers. I sometimes see this in Facebook groups. People say, I make this great post on XiaoHongShu, please come and click like on it for me. The issue with this is that you're then teaching the algorithm to promote your post to more teachers, not to students. Because in those first 24 hours, if the people who engaged well with your post are other teachers, so maybe they are, I don't know, age 30 to 40, they speak English, they live in the US, and they're interested in education. Let's pick a typical demographic, maybe of an online ESL teacher. So if it's people like that who engage really well in the first 24 hours, because you went and tried to get more engagement from other teachers in like a Facebook group or something, then what happens 5 days later when it gives you that organic boost? It's going to recommend you to more people who are age 30 to 40, speak English, or in the US and interested in education, which is basically your competition, not your target audience. So although it sounds like, oh, let's help each other out and like and comment and follow each other, please don't do that, because actually you're directly harming your ability to reach your target audience, because you're teaching the algorithm to send your post to the wrong people. So avoid what we call vanity metrics, which is stuff that looks good but doesn't help you actually make money. Like more likes looks good, but if it's likes from the wrong people, then it's not helping you. Focus instead on building a small but really targeted audience of people who are actually going to be interested in buying your classes. Okay, lots of random ramblings from me, but I think this is quite an important point to get across. Okay, a few people commenting in the chats. Melody's saying, I've only seen my views. Yeah, I think when you're first starting out, you can only see the post views. It just puts it on the post as you look at your profile. But once you've got a minimum of 50 followers, I believe it is, you then get access to the full stats and you can see all kinds of cool stuff. For me, once I then upgraded to a pro account, which I got access to after 1,000 followers, I then get even more advanced stats, which is really useful to kind of drill down some of the details. But yeah, I think it's a kind of a privacy thing to make sure that people with really tiny accounts, you can't identify specific followers by looking at the stats. So yeah, you need a minimum of 50 followers to see more than just post views. So Aida's saying, so are hashtags important for the post? Do they play a critical role? So we mentioned this a little bit yesterday actually as well. Like I personally feel, and actually if you look at some of the kind of advice and stuff being shared even by the XiaoHongShu team themselves in their creator account, they have like a creator advice section on their website and they have an account that shares videos and advice. Basically say that hashtags are a factor that can be considered alongside things like keywords in the content anyway. So if your text has got lots of useful keywords, that is just as important really as the hashtags. So people sometimes, I'm not sure obsess is the right word, but people worry a lot about hashtags and like researching hashtags. And I think in the past it was a really strong factor. But because too many people were doing what we call hashtag stuffing or like keyword stuffing, they're putting in loads and loads of hashtags, like hundreds of hashtags, to try and just reach more people. The algorithms then stopped focusing so much on hashtags because it wasn't such a reliable measure anymore because people were trying to use them like incorrectly. So I'd say they're useful, they're good to optimize and think about, but they're not absolutely essential, particularly when you're first starting out. So you're just saying, aha moment on the like thing. Yes, the like for like thing, people do it all the time because they think it helps, and actually you're directly harming your account. And if you do that right at the very beginning, you're like setting yourself up for failure from the start. So please don't do this like for like type stuff. Yeah, it's not great. Great point. Thanks. I'm glad that helped. Nick is just tuning in. No worries. We're just getting started. So hope you enjoyed today's session. Okay, so that was a quick intro there to what we call the recommended post algorithm, how it recommends your post to new people. The big question then is, what can we do, knowing now how the algorithm works, what can we do to try and get more engagement in those key first 24 hours? We said those 24 hours are the most important time for your post to do well. So you want lots of engagement with your target audience in those first 24 hours. Let me just make myself a bit bigger again. There we go, my giant face on the screen. Okay, so firstly, you want to make sure people are attracted to your post. So I've got a list. By the way, feel free to take a screenshot of this if it's helpful. Just take a screenshot of the page, refer back to later. So firstly, you want to have a really attractive image and title that's going to draw people in. So when they first see your post in the recommended post feed, they're not going to scroll right past it. They'll be like, oh, that's a bright, colorful image, or that's interesting. And if your title is like a captivating, interesting question, we talked about that a bit yesterday, that's going to draw them in. They'll be like, oh, yes, I was just thinking about that. And they'll click to learn more. So that's what you want to draw them in. Good image and good title are really key. The next point I've got here is that you want to have a direct call to action in the post for people to like or comment or save or share or follow or some measure of engagement on the platform itself. And it's very easy for people to like and comment, but you need to remind them to do it. And you can actually put it on the image. So on the image yourself, if you're making like a Canva graphic, you can have a little thing in the corner with an arrow pointing down that says like, please like, or was this post helpful? Feel free to share, like pointing at where the things are on the XiaoHongShu like post. So that could be really helpful as a reminder to people to engage. And also write it in the post description underneath. And if you're doing a video, you can say it in the video. You know, you get YouTubers who like always say, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. The reason they're doing it is because it helps the algorithms. Speaking of which, while you're here, feel free to like and comment and subscribe on this video because it helps this video do well in the algorithm as well. So yeah, that kind of stuff does really, like, it's important. Tell people to engage. And when it comes to comments, if you ask people a question, like in your post, so if you're doing a video, ask them a question, or in the description, ask them a question for them to reply in the comments. That can be a good way of getting more comments on your posts, which help, again, with the algorithm. Don't make it too complicated. You want it to be an easy question they don't have to think too much about to put in the chat. Because if they have to think too much, they won't bother. So it could be like, you know, have you ever been to this place? And they just have to reply with, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. If maybe you're teaching is that present perfect or something? I can't remember. Grammar escapes me. Anyway, okay, so get them to engage. Tell them to engage. The next thing you can do is add tags. We talked a bit about hashtags being like not necessarily that important, but it can help to some extent. In particular, the location tags and the topic tags. So if you tag a particular location, XiaoHongShu has a recommended post near you section on the homepage. So when you first go to it, it goes to the general recommended post feed. There's also a little option next to it that says nearby, and it shows you posts from people who are nearby. So if you tag a specific location, you're then more able to reach people who are located nearby to that location. Now you could tag like where you currently live. That could work particularly if you're targeting like expat families, overseas Chinese, who are living in that place. And maybe if you live in a big city that has a big expat population, that could be a good option. Tag your current location. Similarly, if you're posting about a particular place, like you're posting about a recommended university, then tag that university because people might be searching directly for that location. Otherwise, if you wish, you could consider adding a tag for a key target city where your target audience is based. So maybe you could tag Beijing or Shanghai. Mix things up, see what works well for you, but location tags are something you can play around with. Okay, now these ones at the bottom are stuff you can do that's not necessarily the post itself, but what you can do elsewhere to help boost your post. So I should have put these on multiple slides. It's just me talking and looking at tiny text. Anyway, one thing I'd recommend doing, by the way, put in the chat if you've tried any of these. Let me know if you've tried any of these strategies and if they worked for you, or if you had any issues with them, like you're struggling to get people to engage. Let me know. It's always useful to hear. But yeah, another thing I suggest doing, immediately after you've posted a post, go and comment, engage with other XiaoHongShu users' posts relevant to that topic, like from your target audience relevant to that topic. So maybe like yesterday, we made a post with a top tip for exam success as part of my series on study tips. So what I should have done, which I didn't because I posted late in the evening, I went to bed, but what we should have done to get more engagement on that is immediately after posting, gone and started looking at posts by parents of students who are in an exam year group, like A-levels, I'm targeting students mostly international schools, so they're probably taking international exams, particularly the UK A-level exams or IB exams. That's kind of my target market. Or if it was one that was more generally about exam tips, and maybe I want to target students at public schools, I could have looked for posts about the Gaokao exams. So search for content like that, and then comment and engage with it in a positive way. Don't mass like loads of things, because that just looks spammy, and actually XiaoHongShu might block you for just mass liking things. But comment with like useful advice or a top tip, or giving a suggestion of, or following up on what they've posted about in a positive way. Never say anything negative, but engage in a positive way. Comments are way better than just likes. So comment as much as you can in Chinese. We've got these wonderful tools for translation to help you with that. Okay, so that was one suggestion, one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is to share your post to your target audience on other platforms. So if you've got like a WeChat students group, or you just have some WeChat contacts who are your current students who will be interested in the post, you can use XiaoHongShu's share button to share it to WeChat and share it with those people directly. And it's good to like leave a little message with it, like, oh, I posted about some recommended books. I think Tom might like them. Check out my post. And then send that to Tom's mum, so Tom's mum can check out that particular post. And you can also just post it generally on your WeChat moments as well, for anyone who follows you on WeChat, so any of your WeChat contacts to see. And the final thing I'd recommend doing, this can be really effective as well, is to post what's called a hey post, which is a bit like an Instagram story, but on XiaoHongShu, featuring your new post. So you take a screenshot of the post and then post it as a hey post with a little prompt telling people to check out your profile to look at the post. You can't link to the post, unfortunately. XiaoHongShu hey posts don't have that feature, but you can tell people, like put a little arrow pointing where your profile picture appears at the top of the screen on a hey post, telling people to check out your profile to see the post with all of the top tips or whatever it is you posted about. The good thing about hey posts is that on the main homepage, when they first log in, the recommended post feed, anyone they're following, like it appears right at the very top, any like hey post updates, just like on Instagram, you've got like the stories sort of feed along the top. It kind of pops up there and it highlights it quite well. So it kind of stands out a bit more. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's have a look at the chat, see if anyone's got any comments here. I've got a question here. Struggling a lot with XiaoHongShu. No worries, it's difficult. I get it. That's what we're here for. Can I post my issues on the Facebook group for help? Absolutely, yes. Please do go to the Facebook group. The Facebook group is called WeChat and XiaoHongShu for online ESL teachers. I don't think I've got it in the description, actually. I might add a description later. But yeah, feel free to put a message in the Facebook group and we'll all be more than happy to help you. It's a bio I cannot change. The XiaoHongShu bio, you can only change a maximum of 3 times per week. So it might be you've just edited a bit too much. You might have to wait a bit before you can edit again. But if it's not that, then yeah, feel free to message on Facebook. I'm sure we can help you with it. Melody's saying, so in this case, is it okay to like or comment on another teacher's post? Now this is somewhat debatable. Personally, I avoid doing that. The reason I avoid doing that is because firstly, that particular teacher is not my target audience, so I don't want that teacher to engage. So what I'll be doing instead is trying to engage with their followers, which then leads to my second issue, which means it feels like I'm trying to poach students. I know it's not really posting students because they're just people on social media, but I'm a little bit wary of doing that just because I don't want to upset other teachers. You can if you want, if you feel like, you know, I think supporting other teachers and commenting and engaging with their posts in sometimes can be seen as a supportive, positive thing to do. But if you're doing it because you've just posted something and you want to kind of get some of their followers to come check out your post, I'd be careful with it. Personally, I would recommend instead focusing on posts by your target audience that relate to the thing you posted about. So like in my case, I posted a study tips post. So I go and look for people for like posts from parents of students who are struggling with their exams, and maybe they're posting their own like study tip, or they're posting their own, you know, oh, I'm so stressed, the Gaokao is next week, and like little Tommy doesn't know what to do. That kind of post they might have made on XiaoHongShu, and you can comment saying, oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that Tommy is, you know, stressed about his upcoming Gaokao exams. Don't worry though, I've got a great post that will help you out with that. That kind of thing you can do. Okay, so Aida's saying, so take a picture of the post and post the pic as a hey post. Yes, absolutely. XiaoHongShu also has the option to download a screenshot, like from, if you look at the post itself, there's a little button at the bottom that says take screenshot, and it then makes it look a little prettier. It formats the screenshot quite nicely. So you can use that as well, or you can just take a screenshot with your phone's screenshot button, and then post that pic as a hey post with a little caption on it. You can add some text onto the hey post saying, new post, check it out, or something like that.
Nikki's saying, it's good to know about Hey Posts. I didn't get what they were for about. There's actually loads of ways you can use Hey Posts. There's loads more on this, by the way, in the advanced XiaoHongShu marketing course. There's a link in the description if you want to check out more details on that. But yes, they can be used for things like pointing people in the direction of a new post, sharing daily updates and sort of stories, little short videos and stuff. Lots of stuff you can do with Hey Posts. By the way, going back to the Hey Post thing, Hey Posts mostly reach your current followers. If you've got an absolutely brand new account, you've only got a couple of followers. It's not going to have a big impact to start with. But as your account grows, it's good to get in the habit of doing things like this because it helps things once you've got more followers. Okay, we've got Teacher Reese in Korea saying, I'm in Korea, great. And I want to have Chinese students. Do I have to use my location? Yeah, that's up to you. You can use the location. You can tag any location on the post. So you could tag Beijing, for example, if you want to target students in Beijing. But if you're posting about something that maybe you've done a personal post about something you've done locally in Korea, then you might want to tag Korea, like a location, that's a particular city in Korea. And there are also quite a lot of Chinese expat families within Korea. So depending on your target market, that affects what you'd want to tag as locations and topic tags and things like that. Okay, so I just say next to the heart there's a star. What's the star for? That's a great question. Okay, let me just, you can see it just on the post that's underneath me here, right? So at the bottom here, there's a little, can I make that one bigger? No, I didn't make it bigger, never mind. Okay, so if you look at the bottom, there's 3 different bits of engagement that are shown directly on the post. The first one is a little heart symbol, which is just like a like. It works the same as someone liking something on Facebook. The second one is a star, and the star is called collect, and it's like a save. It saves it to a bit on their profile called collections or saved or something, and they can actually collect it to a specific board, which is like a bit like a Pinterest kind of board within their profile, which could be public or could be private. So basically, if someone clicks a star, that's great because it means they're saving it to come back to later, or they're kind of doing it as a way to collect to a board to recommend to their own followers. With it, they can create boards in different categories, for example. So yes, the star is really great. If people start clicking on that, it means they particularly loved your post. This particular post, let me just move my face a bit. This one here was one of my posts that got some of the best engagement on my post. It's actually got a bit more since this image was taken. It was about 6 months or so ago. But here you can see I've got like 187 likes, which was really great. But it also got 388 shares. So like double the number of, collects, the stars, double the number of collects as it got likes, which to me shows that it was a particularly valuable post because not only do people like it, but even more people were trying to save it to come back to later, which is what we want to see. And the last thing you can see at the end there is the number of comments. This post, despite having lots of likes and collects, bizarrely only had 5 comments. That's probably because I didn't have a call to action telling people to comment, so there was no reason for people to comment. But yes, so that's what the star is. The star is a save, essentially. Twins saying CTA, didn't understand. CTA means call to action. It's like marketing speak for call to action. What do you want people to do? It's like a message you put on your post telling people what you want them to do next. Like, please like, or comment with your favorite fruit, or whatever, something relating to the post. So are you just saying, awesome, yes, awesome, fantastic. Okay. Great, so that was a little bit there about the recommended post algorithm, how we could be successful with the recommended post algorithm. I'm just going to move, where's my face gone now? Gosh, I'm flying all over the screen. There we go. Okay, so just quickly move on to the next part. And the next part we want to talk about is the search algorithm, which is another really important algorithm on XiaoHongShu. But before we jump into the details of the search algorithm, I've got a little bit of an ad break because, you know, we're all about marketing here. And this is my little marketing ad break. So if you want to learn more about XiaoHongShu and Chinese social media marketing in general, like beyond what we covered in the bootcamp, and also loads more advice on other aspects of Chinese social media marketing, like WeChat marketing, we have these amazing self-paced courses on the Abridge Academy website. The link is above, and I'll just put it in the script as well if anyone wants to check these out. So it's just https abridgeacademy.com/courses. I'll pop that in the description and on the screen. But basically, these are some step-by-step social media marketing courses. You can go at your own pace. It's lifetime access. There's no restrictions or limits on things, and loads more detail on social media marketing if you'd like to learn more about these. And as a special deal for anyone who's joined the bootcamp, you get a $5 discount if you use the code MAYBOOTCAMP23. So May Bootcamp 23 will give you $5 off in May. So by the end of May 2023. May Bootcamp 23. I'm just going to put it in the chat so it's easy for you to copy paste. So if you want to get a $5 discount on any of these courses, you can do that with the discount code May Bootcamp 23. So yeah, please do feel free to check these out. I hope you have enjoyed the courses and they're useful. People were commenting already. I've already joined your big course. Awesome, that's great to see. Thank you for joining us. I hope you find the course helpful. Great. So yeah, feel free to check these out if you're interested. Bella's saying, I think I need to do the WeChat next. Yeah, WeChat marketing is basically what you want to do after XiaoHongShu. People, you've got your followers and your audience on XiaoHongShu, then you need to get them onto WeChat and then start selling and convert them into paying customers. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the WeChat marketing course. It's on the website. These courses, by the way, they're all like, I think the most expensive was $40 the most. And this one, 7-day bootcamp, so it's 7-day posting challenge is only $9.99. So I've kept the prices as low as possible to make them more accessible to teachers as well. So if you want to just check those out, do a bit of upskilling on marketing skills and get an extra $5 discount, which then would bring this down to basically $5. Feel free to check those out. So yes, thank you everyone. Okay, that was a little marketing pitch from me. One more tiny little marketing pitch because, well, you know, we're all about marketing here. If you want to learn even more and you need a bit of extra support with actually implementing stuff, because let's be honest, the self-paced courses are really great, loads of detail, but some really difficult bit is actually motivating yourself to put it into practice, and knowing how to implement things can be really challenging. So you want some more support with that, feel free to sign up to the XiaoHongShu coaching program. You'll get 5 coaching sessions, like one-on-one sessions with me, so like Zoom calls. Each session is a whole hour long, and we'll go through everything you need to know, like getting you set up on XiaoHongShu, or creating posts, or working on the algorithm, depending on what you need is customized around you. And you also get all these amazing bonuses, including the XiaoHongShu marketing course, some custom Canva post templates to save you loads of time actually making your posts, and a detailed profile review and translation from a native Chinese speaker to make sure that your profile is all set up for success. And if you're interested in that, I'm going to pop this link in the chat. This is new, so I haven't got like a super fancy sales page set up. It's just here's the buy now button basically. But if you'd like to check out, feel free to sign up. I just put the link in the live chat. It's also in the video description if you want to have a look. Okay, that is the end of my quick ad break. So thank you for listening to that. I hope you find the courses helpful. And if you want extra support, this coaching program is there for you as well. Let's go back to our main focus though, which is all about the XiaoHongShu algorithms. If you've got any questions about the courses, by the way, pop them in the chat and I'm happy to answer those as well. But I know we've got lots of people keen to learn more about the algorithms first. So yeah, the next algorithm to look at is the XiaoHongShu search algorithm. This is basically when someone's opened up the app and they're looking for something specific. So instead of browsing randomly the recommended posts, they're going to go to the top of the page with a search bar and they're going to type in their question or type in some keywords and search for stuff. So essentially this algorithm is quite basic. It works a bit like, I say basic, it's very advanced behind the scenes, but understanding it relatively straightforward. It works a bit like how Google does. So you know Google, when you search for something, it recommends you websites that answer the question you search for. Same kind of idea on XiaoHongShu. And the way it knows what to recommend to people is based on the content of the post and engagement from other users. So firstly, it's going to scan the text, like the title, the main body text, and the hashtags for certain keywords. And it's going to pick up basically what's your post about. What are the main keywords that it's going to store as in its memory of what your post is about. Hashtags are also useful here. Topic tags, location tags, and user tags are the 3 types of hashtags you can add. I would say the topic tags are good, a bit like keywords. Location tags are good if they're searching for a particular location. So maybe they're researching universities. I'm going to give that example again because it's an easy one. But maybe they're researching universities and they really want to know what life is like at Harvard University, right? So they're going to search in the search bar Harvard University. And the algorithm will be like, oh, that's a location. And it's going to recommend them posts that have tagged Harvard University as a location. And the final thing it looks at is the engagement with relevant demographics. So this is quite interesting. Depending on who is searching, it's going to show them different content. So we talked previously about maybe you're targeting young professionals in the IT industry. Okay, so if someone who's a young professional in the IT industry searches for, I don't know, interview advice, it's going to come up with interview tips, like posts on interview advice that are related to the IT industry and sort of aimed at young professionals. So it'll be interview advice for like job applications.
Even though they haven't typed in interview advice for job applications, it's going to pick up on the fact that they are aged 25 to 30, they're in the IT industry, they're interested in computing, and they search for the word interview tips. And it's going to look for posts that have interview tips in them and did well with that same demographic, which generally means it's interview tips aimed at that audience. Whereas if someone who is like a high school student searches for interview tips, it's going to show a post that are interview tips for university applications. So some universities require an interview when you apply. So it's going to give them different content depending on who's searching, because it's looking at the demographics and the engagement demographics on the post. So basically that stuff we talked about earlier in terms of getting good engagement with relevant demographics is also going to be relevant here to some extent. Okay, just going to check in the comments. Got any questions so far? We're going to move on to some tips on how to optimize in just a moment. Okay, Harry's saying, bought the course, well worth the money, using bootcamp for more context. Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback, Harry. I'm glad you're enjoying the course. Awesome. Okay, Nikki's saying, sorry, how do you add Hey from Snapshot? Only gives you the option to share to WeChat. Okay, once you've got the snapshot, it saves it to your phone's photo album. Then separately, you're going to go onto the app, the Hey Post section, and you click Post Hey Post, and you can add it like you would a normal image. It doesn't have like a share to Hey Post option, unfortunately. It's not set up as well as like Instagram is. I feel like the Hey Post is quite new on XiaoHongShu, like relatively-ish new. So they haven't really optimized it for things like sharing your post to Hey Post. It's more designed for like life update kind of things. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying, sounds good. Twin points. Thank you for the recommendation. I think that's answering some early questions. Thank you everyone for supporting each other in the chat. It's always great when people are sharing ideas. Okay, so we've got an idea here of how the search algorithm works. It's looking for keywords in the text, the title, hashtags. It's looking at the hashtags themselves, particularly location tags, I think are quite useful there. And particularly the engagement with relevant demographics is important. So how can we increase reach via the search algorithm? Feel free to pop your own ideas and feedback as well in the chat if you've tried any of these things and if they've worked. Something, by the way, you'll notice, posts that have been well optimized for search will continue to do well. Like they'll keep getting good views and engagement even like weeks or months after you posted them. Remember that post I showed you earlier that had like 380 something collects, like saves on it? And I put lots of detail in the post. That was optimized not just for engagement, but also for doing well in search. I'm still getting likes and collects on that post. I must have posted that last summer. Like it's quite an old post, and I'm still getting people engaging with it because it's coming up for them in search. So this is why the search algorithm is a really good one to focus on. Like make sure you do these things because it has a really good impact, particularly longer term. So to increase reach, you're going to focus on detailed long form descriptions. We talked a bit about this yesterday. Write lots of detail in your post description. One of the biggest mistakes I see teachers do, or just people in general doing on XiaoHongShu, is they'll write a kind of title and then they'll leave the description blank or write like one sentence and then put some hashtags in and that's it. And you're not going to get much like good search SEO. We call this SEO, search engine optimization. It's the same concept on XiaoHongShu as it is on a traditional search engine. You're not going to do well in the search algorithm if you haven't put any text in your post. So you want lots of detail in the description. I also said this yesterday, but I'll say it again as well. If you did a video post, put your video script or like a summary of the video, what you were saying in the video, in the description as well. So it's got all that text, all of that content there for the algorithm to easily scan and then use to recommend to people. So really detailed descriptions is super, super important. Second thing I'll say, and again, we looked at this yesterday too, write your post in Chinese. If you don't know Chinese, it's fine. Use a translation tool and translate it into Chinese. But this is important so you've got Chinese keywords because people are going to be searching in Chinese for things. So they're going to be searching not for interview tips in English. They're going to be searching for interview tips in Chinese. The phrase will be in Chinese. They might be searching for English interview tips, but they will be writing that phrase in Chinese. So make sure your post is in Chinese. Sorry, I'm saying it 10 times, but yeah, hopefully you get the idea. If you write in English, it will only pick up English keywords, and then it's going to recommend your post to other English-speaking people, which is like other teachers, not your target audience. Okay, next we're going to look at hashtags. As I say, to be honest, the algorithm doesn't focus too much on these, but there's something you can look into as well, and it's worth adding a fair few. Personally, I recommend adding like 5 to 10 hashtags at the most. Make sure you niche down and focus on those that are actually really specific to the post topic.
because then you're going to do well, like ranking within that hashtag if people have searched for a hashtag. And I would pick ones that have around 10 to 100,000 views. So it's enough that people are searching for it and there's interest in that topic, but you're not going to be competing too much. Like if you just put a hashtag like English teacher, so many people are using the hashtag English teacher, you're not going to be able to compete. Like it'd be difficult to compete. And finally, I've said this all the time, but make sure your whole account is focused consistently on your niche. We said that the algorithm looks at like the demographics of people who are engaging with your content to recommend your content to other people. So make sure all of your content is relevant to your target audience. Like don't post, interview tips for young professionals followed by phonics videos, followed by, recommending universities for high school students to consider, like jumping around different niches, because your followers won't know. Like they'll see all this random stuff and they won't engage well with it. So keep your account focused consistently on your niche. Okay, I'm rambling a lot, but hopefully that gives you some ideas of things you can do when making posts to make them do better in the algorithm. I know some of this is a bit of a repeat of yesterday, but I think it's useful to understand why we did those things yesterday and how it links into the algorithm. Okay, I think is it actually finishing? I originally had a plan of doing 45-minute sessions, and this is actually coming to 45 minutes. I can't believe it. Amazing. Okay, so today we've looked a lot into the two key algorithms. So that's the recommended post algorithm and the search algorithm, and made lots and lots of lists of ideas of how to boost your reach using these algorithms. So what we're going to do today as your actual daily task. By the way, I'm sorry if anyone who posted their task yesterday. I haven't had a chance to look at all of them yet because there were quite a few, but I'm going to get on that, don't worry. But yes, your task for today is to basically improve on your day 4 post, because I know it's a bit overwhelming to constantly making new posts. So we're just going to tweak your day 4 post using all of the content and the ideas that we've done in today's session. So for example, you might want to add more keywords, more detail, add hashtags to your post description, add more content in there so the search algorithm can pick up on it. You might also want to add more engagement-focused call to actions. So your call to action, like at the end of your post description, you can ask people to like or to share or to comment and give them a task to do that's going to get them engaging with your content. I would say, particularly if you're a new account, focus really on engagement, getting people to engage with your content, rather than getting them to go into your DMs to try and get them to start buying stuff. Focus first on engagement and boosting your account and reaching the right audience. Okay, another thing you can do is translate your post into Chinese if you hadn't done that already. Make sure your post is written in Chinese. And what we're going to do, once you've optimized and tweaked your post like this, you're going to post it as a new post. So you're not going to edit the old post directly on XiaoHongShu. You can keep the old post as it is. But you're going to make a new post that's basically the same idea as the old post, but with this optimized stuff going on. And if you want to, you could tweak the image so it doesn't quite look the same when people are looking at your profile. You don't have 2 identical posts next to each other. So feel free to tweak the image a bit if you want a different image. You could play around with like a different title or something if you want to experiment a bit with things like that. But basically, we want to try and optimize your post and then just make a new post that is this new optimized post. And once you've done that, you're going to share on your WeChat. If you've got WeChat, you're going to spend time engaging with your target audience and their accounts to get more engagement again coming to that post. Yeah, so that's your task for today. And what I'd like you to do, as always, take a screenshot of your post. There's also the workbook, by the way, that worked through what we did today. So take a screenshot and share it in the Facebook group to sort of celebrate how things are going. And let us know as well if you get more engagement on it. It's always good to hear how things have gone. Okay, so that is your task for today. Okay, any questions in the comments? So you just say you're not rambling, great information. That's good to know, thank you. I do have a habit of either rambling or talking at 100 miles an hour or doing both. So I'm trying to get better at it. Actually, the more of these webinars I do, the more excited I get about things, and the more I get into my excited rambling mode. We go with it. Okay. Teacher Reese is saying, nice to know this bootcamp. I'm glad you're finding this helpful. Thank you. Continue to post on my page to help more teachers find students on XiaoHongShu. Yes, feel free to share. If you enjoy this bootcamp, please do feel free to share with other teachers who might also enjoy the bootcamp. By the way, if you signed up and you registered on the link on the website, you actually get an affiliate link to recommend the bootcamp to more people, which if you do it by, I think Sunday was the deadline, you can get an extra bonus entry and surprise draw if people click through your link to get the free bootcamp. If it's after Sunday, then you can't get anything specifically for recommending people because it's a free bootcamp. But if you recommend any of the paid courses, you get like, I think it's 50% commission on it. So you get little bonuses for recommending to friends. Anyway, I'm rambling again. But if you want to share with your friends, feel free to either just share the video directly, or if you want to share the whole bootcamp, you can get your referral link on the bootcamp, like in the course, to recommend it to people. And I always really appreciate it when you spread the word, because it helps me as a small business sort of grow and promote my content. And it also means that more teachers can benefit from all of this free bootcamp and this free ideas. So yeah. Okay, Angie saying, had to leave that. No worries. Thank you for everything. This is very informative and helpful. You're welcome. I'm glad you found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope this all helped. Okay, so yeah, that's your task for today. Ella saying, there's so, sorry, Bella. I'm sorry, I said Ella. Bella saying, so much to learn. Yes, there is so much to learn. I feel like when people start off with social media marketing, they're like, oh, I just post some cool things on WeChat or on XiaoHongShu and people will buy my classes. And they'll post a few clips of their classes and they're like, where are my students? Because actually there is a lot of almost science behind how things like the algorithms work. But once we understand those, then that is the key to success. Nikki's saying, does the algorithm realize it's basically the same post but re-edited? So if you post exactly the same content, it may sort of be like, oh, this is kind of a repeat of the previous stuff. But as long as you've tweaked and edited the content and you've added more detailed description and things like that, you mix things up, it's not going to cause any issues in terms of the algorithm. And in reality, the way the algorithm works as well, it doesn't show your post to all of your followers when it's the recommended post feed. It normally just shows it to a subset of your followers, sees who engages, and then sort of tries sharing it to a few other followers and things like that. So if you've got lots of followers, it's quite likely that most of them would actually have seen the previous post anyway, because the algorithm will only show it to a small percentage of people at a time. Yeah. Kristen's saying, it's okay, we post our XiaoHongShu post on the Facebook group to get feedback from other teachers. Yeah, that's a great idea. You can definitely do that in the Facebook group. I'd recommend, rather than posting a link to the post, because you don't necessarily want teachers going through and clicking like and engaging in that kind of stuff, like we were talking about earlier. But what you can do instead is also easier for people to actually see the post. Just take a screenshot of the post and share it. And if you want to like write the description content, you can put that as text in your Facebook post. That's what I'd recommend doing if you want some feedback from people. Feel free to do that. It's always great to see what people are posting, and I'm happy to share some suggestions and things as well. So yes, you feel free to use the Facebook group. That's what it's there for. Absolutely. If you share the link though, it doesn't format very well, so actually people can't see a preview of the post and things. So rather than posting a link, just screenshot the post. You're saying, great, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that helped. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up there then. So that's our task for today. Can't believe we're actually doing things on time for once. I'm getting better at this. But yeah, just a reminder as well that, oh, I forgot this. Gosh, I know I had on the side of something important. Just a reminder, or not a reminder, I haven't told you. If you enjoyed this bootcamp, please do feel free to write a review of the bootcamp because it really, really helps get the word out about these free bootcamps, so more people join and sign up in the future. So yeah, feel free to write a review. The link again is in the description of this video. Did I save a link somewhere for me? No, I didn't. That was very sensible of me. Okay, well, the link's in the description of the video. So if you'd like to write a review of the bootcamp, I'd really appreciate it because it does help me promote more of these bootcamps and offer them in the future. If you write a review by Sunday, you get an extra entry into the prize draw as well. So that's a little incentive there to write. It doesn't have to be a positive review to get the entry, but I do appreciate nice reviews. But yes, please do feel free to do that. Okay, and that is everything from me. We've got some questions in the comments. Nikki, okay, thought I was being a bit previous. Might be typo. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Whatever I said earlier, I've forgotten already. Gillian saying, thank you for all the amazing info. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So helpful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'm glad this was helpful. Thank you so much for your help and the hard work you put into this. Great, appreciate it. Thank you, Melody. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate as well, like teachers like you who've been tuning in to most of the bootcamp sessions and engaging with the content, posting things in the Facebook group. It's all really, really helpful for me. So I really appreciate your engagement with the bootcamp. Thank you, Nikki. Really appreciate that. Okay, Bella's saying, I was looking at some posts the other day when I downloaded the app. There were a lot of English teachers posted video in English, no Chinese translations or subtitles, no graphics. Yes, so this is something I find a lot of teachers when they're first starting out. And it's okay when you're first starting out, you're just trying to get familiar with the platform. won't be doing all of the things you could do to make your post do better. So yeah, if you're doing videos, now obviously if you don't speak Chinese, don't try and speak in Chinese in your video because it's not going to work. So you're going to be speaking in English in the video, that's fine. But if you can put Chinese subtitles on the video, it does really help. Now, if you use the XiaoHongShu subtitle feature, it will just put them in English, which is not that helpful. We want subtitles in Chinese. But you can use their automated subtitles to generate them in English and then translate those into Chinese using a translation app, copy, paste it back and forth, and do that to add Chinese subtitles. Alternatively, you can use third-party apps that provide subtitles for you. So if you look in the online course platform for this bootcamp, I've actually got a section, I added a little bonus lesson in there about how to add Chinese subtitles like really easily to your videos, including the software that I use, which is what I'd recommend doing. It's so much easier than what I was doing before, which was trying to copy paste things back and forth and like manually translate stuff. It took forever. So do check out that section of the course. It's got some advice on how to add Chinese subtitles and like automatically have them translated, which is so much quicker. Susan's saying, thank you, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend too. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Harry's asking, what's a good platform for teaching in China? Do you mean like a teaching platform, like the software you use to teach on, like virtual classroom platform? In which case, I have some videos actually on my channel. If you go to the top left corner, there's a picture of my face. Click on it. Not now, but like after the live, click on it and you can see all my other videos. I have actually a whole section. I think I featured a section on my profile, on my YouTube channel of platform guides and platform reviews. You can also find some platform guides on the Able Academy website if you want to check those out. What I personally use is Qualigo. I used to use Zoom and that was fine. I also highly recommend platforms like SuperKid, which is similar to Qualigo. It's a very interactive virtual classroom platform and very engaging for students. So I would say, yeah, if you're teaching online, I would highly recommend using software that's actually designed for online teaching. So most popular ones, Qualigo is really popular right now. SuperKid should be more popular because it's amazing. ClassIn is popular with a lot of teachers if you're doing whiteboard focused lessons. I hate ClassIn, it's terrible. But anyway, some teachers like ClassIn for some reason, and apparently it's good for if you've got a computer that's fast enough to run it. And yeah, so I'd recommend using a specialist classroom platform. I used to use Zoom though, like a year and a half or so back. I was using Zoom before Qualigo and stuff came out, and Zoom worked fine. So you can use platforms like that. Okay, Teacher Reese is commenting, thank you so much. I have to go back to see the day one bootcamp. Yes, go back and watch the replays. So if you check out in the description, there's a link to register for the free bootcamp like on the website, which gives you all the replays in a nicely organized online course format with downloads and extra resources and stuff. So yeah, hope the words are escaping me today. Hope you find the replays and stuff helpful if you missed those. Great, thank you, Nassis. I'm glad you found this helpful. Really appreciate your support. Kristen saying, have to go now. No worries. Thanks for joining us, Kristen. Glad to hear you enjoyed the bootcamp. That's wonderful. They're saying, we'll definitely have a look at it. Awesome. Okay, Teacher Reese is asking, is XiaoHongShu available on desktop? Okay, if you check out session 4 of the bootcamp, so I don't think you joined us yesterday. I don't remember. Anyway, if you didn't join us yesterday, check out yesterday's replay, which is bootcamp session 4. Where I looked at how to make a post together, and we did it live on the computer using the desktop version of XiaoHongShu. It's not an app, like you don't have to download it on your computer. It's literally just a website, the XiaoHongShu website, creator.xiaohongshu.com. And you log in and you can like post from your computer within the web browser. And I walked you through how to do that in yesterday's session. So do look at the replay for that if you want to use the computer version. Good question. Nikki's saying Voov meeting is good. Oh yeah, I forgot about Voov. I forgot that's the thing. Yeah, Voov is a bit like Zoom, but it's like a Chinese company, owns Voov. It's actually the same company that owns WeChat. Tencent owns Voov and WeChat and loads of other things too. Yeah, so Zoom doesn't need a VPN either, by the way. Like Zoom also works fine. But the good thing about Voov, at least at the moment, as far as I'm aware, you don't have to pay to get unlimited duration on one-on-one calls or something, whereas Zoom is a 40-minute time limit. I don't think Voov has the same time limit, but it's very similar to Zoom. It's a screen sharing kind of platform. Yeah, very popular. And because it's owned by Tencent, it integrates better with WeChat. So I think students can join from the Tencent meeting is what it's called in China. It's Voov
internationally. I don't know why they came up with that name. It's weird. But within China, within WeChat, they can download the mini app and log into VooV within WeChat itself. Chinese kids like it. It's convenient. I use DingTalk. Oh yes, yeah, DingTalk's great as well. I use DingTalk actually for some business partnerships in China. It's actually like a business platform, but it has a virtual classroom. They launched a virtual classroom feature during COVID, and a lot of Chinese schools used it. I think of that virtual classroom as a cut down version of Classin, and it's free. So that's a good one to check out as well. And I like the fact that DingTalk has like quite good file sharing features that you can collaborate on files and stuff, a bit like how Google Docs works. So you can send homework and things to your students. It's very good for like essay writing stuff, as a very specific example. But yeah, it's a good one. It's another one to check out. Question: Zoom needs a VPN? No, Zoom doesn't need a VPN. There was a very short period of time, like a couple of months, where they did temporarily block Zoom due to, I can't remember, there was some incident that happened, it was something political and the government got a bit angsty about stuff, but they unblocked it. So you don't need a VPN to access Zoom within China. They can't host meetings from the Chinese end, I think is the restriction on it, but they can join your meeting without any issues. So they don't need a VPN. Twin saying, I want to post a gaming video. Is it harmful? Like on your XiaoHongShu account? I would say it depends who your target audience is. I mean, if your target students are gamers or they're like in an age range and with interest in gaming, then maybe, but most likely they're probably not. That would be a very specific niche. So I would say in that case, probably don't post it unless it is directly relevant and valuable and useful to your target audience. That'd be my suggestion. Keep all of your posts on topic, like focused on your niche. Okay, Bella's saying, does Koala Go and SuperKid work okay in China? Yes, they do. They both work perfectly in China. A Koala Go actually even has an optimize for China button you can tick, like when you enter the classroom, which means it works even faster within China or something. I think they're using like a Chinese server maybe to connect. I'm not entirely sure of the actual technical details of it, but yeah, they work fine in China. My Chinese students can use them totally fine. Comment here, students don't like Zoom because they need their VPN, it costs them. See, my students have not needed a VPN on Zoom. I think if they're doing it on the computer, there was some, that was it. If you got the free version of Zoom, they might need a VPN. This came up recently on a Facebook group. There were some weird issues that students were having. And basically, if you had the pro version of Zoom, it was fine. And I've always had the pro version. But there were some issues with the free version. Maybe the free version doesn't have good connectivity in China. But yeah, VooV is probably better than Zoom anyway for the Chinese market. So, and also it's free for like unlimited meeting duration or something, or at least over an hour, like long meetings you can have on VooV. So go with that instead. You can say, maybe change between Zoom and VPN. Yeah, there was definitely a period of time where it was completely blocked, and basically a lot of businesses had issues because Zoom is used by a lot of businesses, not just online teachers. So it actually caused a lot of like business issues in China when they completely blocked it. So the government had to like backtrack a bit, and they placed some restrictions, I think, on Zoom. Like they couldn't host meetings from the Chinese end on Zoom, but they can join meetings hosted internationally by people on Zoom. I think that was what ended up happening. But anyway, it does work fine without a VPN. But I do think now it'd be cool. There was something in a Facebook group recently about free Zoom accounts having some issues. You might need to upgrade to the pro account. So in which case you may as well just check out VooV, because VooV would be free and actually work. Yeah, he's saying only had the free version. That's probably why. Because I use Zoom fine. Like I often use it for chatting to people in China. Well, actually WeChat's more useful for that. But like I've used it relatively recently for like business conversations with people in China, and it's worked fine without VPNs. Harry's asking, is there a Chinese market for an applied grammar course? Certainly within certain markets, there's a need for a grammar understanding. I mean, you'd have to figure out, I would say, in particular, people preparing for exams might care a lot about grammar, particularly if it's an exam like the Gaokao exam, which puts a lot of emphasis on grammatical understanding. So that could be something to focus on. Yes, definitely market for things like that. Okay, I think I'm catching up with the questions, which is great. Any last questions before we finish things up? Because this is now the end of the bootcamp. We're gonna have like an end of bootcamp prize draw thing, which will be a quick live with the prize draw. And I was trying to find time in my schedule when exactly to do it, but it'll be very early next week. for that, probably Monday. But I need to basically sit down and add up everyone's prize draw entries, which is taking me some time, and then we're going to schedule the prize draw live. But this will be the end of the main bootcamp. Like in the prize draw, we're not going to be chatting much about, I don't know, how to use XiaoHongShu. It's going to be just a quick prize draw and that's it. So yeah, this is the end of our main bootcamp. Okay, I think those are all the questions, and I'm seeing people starting to peter out now, which is fine. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you found this bootcamp helpful. Just a final reminder to make sure you leave a review if you have enjoyed the bootcamp. I really appreciate your support of writing a quick review. And also do feel free to check out the XiaoHongShu and WeChat marketing courses. The link is in the description for those if you want to further expand your knowledge and understanding of XiaoHongShu. And if you want some extra support actually implementing all of that, then the XiaoHongShu coaching program is also a link in the description below to check those out. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. Absolutely need more time. It's always a question, always an issue. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the bootcamp. I will probably see you guys briefly for the prize draw in a few days. If you guys can tune in for that, do come and join us. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm just seeing lots of thank you comments popping up. Really appreciate your support. Off to sign up for the WeChat course. Fantastic. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you find it helpful. Yes, have a wonderful weekend to you too, Melody. Thank you, Saida. Awesome. Lisa's saying it's 11 p.m. here too. Yeah, it's also 11 p.m. here in Japan. So we're getting late for anyone in Asia. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you guys in the prize draw. And a final reminder, please do leave a review if you've enjoyed the bootcamp. So yeah, have a great weekend. And happy XiaoHongShu posting. That doesn't even sound that good. Anyway, enjoy your weekend and happy posting on XiaoHongShu.